because just absolutely shame on you for putting your daughter through this and having her face an indictment with mandatory prison. If she gets convicted, I didn't have a choice but to send her to prison. She has no prior record. Why would you drag your daughter into that who has your grandchild at home? What, 4 months old, 5 months old? Why would you do that? But to talk your own daughter into doing something like this is just absolutely disgraceful.
25 CR 42362, the State of Ohio versus Kenneth Carney. Mr. Carney is before the court. Mr. Carney, have you retained new counsel?
I didn't get a chance to because I'm gonna wait till after the holidays. I think he had a caseload over. He had too many cases. So the ones they never try to call, because I got back to Lucasville December 15th. By the time I got to use the phone and call lawyers, they told me I'll call after the holidays.
Mr. Carney, this is unacceptable. I'm not going to continue to drag this case out. This case is approaching a year old already.
You're saying that's unapproachable? What's unapproachable about it? I can't, because I can't make a lawyer come to work. They was busy. It was the holidays.
Well, I'm going to appoint you new counsel today.
And then you give me a lawyer last time. He ain't even do nothing. I asked. He ain't come and see me. Still ain't got no discovery or nothing. James Moss ain't giving no discovery. I don't even know what's going on. Never came to see me or nothing. So how's it my fault?
Well, I just said I was going to appoint you counsel.
I know, I'm just
I'm
saying.
going to set this for trial here in the next month or so. This case, like I said, is almost a year old. We've had.
Yeah, but
I'm not, sir.
Sir, what?
This is not time to argue with me. I'm telling you what I'm going to do. I'm going to appoint new counsel. Now, if in the meantime, between now and 2 weeks from now, that you hire a new attorney, that's fine. But I need to keep this case moving. This case is almost a year old, and I've had it set for trial twice already.
Yeah.
This will be the third trial setting. I'm not going to continue to play this game. So here's where we are.
There's no
Mr.
game
Laux
to
is
play.
going to hand you a form. It's an affidavit of indigency saying you can't afford to hire an attorney. If you come up with the funds and you hire an attorney in the meantime, that's fine. That's great. But in the meantime, I'm going to appoint someone to represent you. Are you still at Lucasville?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and accept this today, and then again, like I said, if you end up retaining someone, we're after the holidays now. If you end up retaining someone, they can reach out to me and substitute in as counsel of record. That's not a problem, but I just want to keep the case moving. Okay, so this verdict form is signed by all 12 members of the jury. As to the additional finding to count one, we, the jury, find the amount of methamphetamine involved in the offense was equal to or in excess of 5 times the bulk amount, but less than the 50 times bulk amount. This additional finding is also signed by all 12 members of the jury. As to count two, we, the jury, being duly impaneled, sworn, or affirmed, find the defendant, Kenneth Carney, guilty of illegal conveyance of drugs of abuse under the grounds of a specified government facility. As he stands charged, the indictment. This verdict form is also signed by all 12 members of the jury. Does the state want the jury polled?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Does the defense want the jury polled?
No, Your Honor.
Before I pronounce sentence, anything from the state?
Your Honor, the court heard the testimony in this case. The court's aware of the facts. The defendant has an extensive history of drug trafficking dating back to at least 2006. This was 51 grams of methamphetamine that he got his daughter with no criminal history to bring in to the Warren Correctional Institution for him, and the court heard his testimony. So we would ask you to consider all of that and impose a sentence of at least 6 years.
Mr. Brenner, anything on behalf of the defendant?
Thank you, Your Honor. I've gotten to know Mr. Carney pretty well over the last couple months I've been on this case. I think he's a polite man. I think he's an affable man. I think that he's in a situation where I know this court's well aware of the circumstances surrounding, the Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. Obviously, we think he made some bad choices here, right? I think that he sought to, alleviate his circumstances as it was. But I do know that he has, I know the court's aware he's been transferred to Lucasville. It's a much higher security level. I know that is not enjoyable for him. I think he's already faced some consequences. I would ask this court to issue an appropriate sentence on the lower end, as I think it's notable. Obviously, none of the contraband was ever actually possessed by Mr. Carney.
Mr. Carney, is there anything you'd like to say before I sentence you?
I just apologize. There's nothing I can say. But apologize to the court. I have nothing to do with it. I still remain innocent, but
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I still remain, innocent to where I didn't do it, but there's nothing I can do about it. I can just apologize to the court. That's all.
The court has considered the statements made here today, the purposes and principles of sentencing, the relevant seriousness and recidivism factors. There are two offenses here. The court does find that they are offenses of dissimilar import and do not merge for the purposes of sentencing. Anything on that?
No, the state would agree.
Your Honor, I would ask for them to merge, but I do believe that under Ohio law that they would not automatically merge.
All right, on count one, then, the court will order you to serve a minimum term before I get to that, Mr. Carney, first off, shame on you. Just absolutely shame on you for dragging your young daughter, who you profess to love, into this. I quite frankly agree with the jury's verdict. I don't often do this. This is probably the second time in 10 years that I've actually sentenced a defendant in front of a jury, and I'm doing it for a reason. Because just absolutely shame on you for putting your daughter through this and having her face an indictment with mandatory prison. Luckily for you, I think that the state, and I think we're going to do it on Thursday, her trial was set for Thursday, as you probably know. If she gets convicted, I didn't have a choice but to send her to prison. She has no prior record. Why would you drag your daughter into that, who has your grandchild at home? What, 4 months old, 5 months old? Why would you do that? And that's a rhetorical question, Mr. Carney, because quite frankly, I'm not looking for a response at this, but I'm just scolding you because I think it's shameful for a parent to drag, and we see these cases all the time where people, they talk these young women, but to talk your own daughter into doing something like this is just absolutely disgraceful in my opinion. Your record dates back to 2001, your criminal record. So you have a criminal history of over 25 years. This is your third conviction for aggravated trafficking. 3. You're not learning anything. So the court is going to order you to serve a minimum prison sentence of 5 years, a maximum prison sentence of 7.5 years. That has to do with Reagan Tokes, as you probably are aware. And on count 2, the court's going to order you to serve 36 months, that to be served concurrent with count 1, but consecutive sentence to your current sentence. So I'm adding on 5 to 7.5 years to your current sentence. The court does find that a consecutive sentence is necessary to punish you and to protect the public from you. It is not disproportionate to the conduct or the danger that you pose to society, and this offense was committed while you were already incarcerated in the Department of Corrections. You have 0 days jail time credit. You are subject to a mandatory period of post-release control on this, as you probably already are on your other one, which means that when you are released, the Adult Parole Authority will supervise you for up to 3 years, but not less than 18 months. You do have a right to appeal the jury's verdict and this court's sentence to the 12th District Court of Appeals. If you want to appeal, you must file your notice of appeal within 30 days of today's date. You can't afford to pay for the transcript or anything necessary for your appeal. That can all be provided to you at no cost. If you cannot afford an attorney, I will appoint one for you at no cost. Ms. Nicholson.
Nothing further, thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Brenner.
Not at this time.
All right, that's all. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we are obviously finished, and I oftentimes don't ever do that. I've done it one other time that I can think of. I will explain that to you in the back.
How long it take for the appeal to come in?
Well, so I'm gonna file it. It'll, like we talked about, it'll probably take a couple weeks to a month with the transcript ready. And then from there, your appellate counsel will have, 46 weeks to file their brief. Okay? Oh, that's for what? I'll file that.
Are you able to take us off the record?
Case number 25CR42361, the State of Ohio versus Kalia Carney. Ms. Carney is before the court with her counsel, Mr. Staten. Ms. Nicholson on behalf of the State of Ohio. Ms. Nicholson.
Your Honor, Danny and the defendant will be entering a guilty plea to the amended counts 1 and 2, which have both been reduced to felonies of the 3rd degree, aggravated trafficking and aggravated possession, as well as count 3, illegal conveyance. Count 4 has been dismissed. There is no agreement on sentencing. However, the state has indicated to Mr. Staten that it intends to defer to the court.
Staten, is that accurate?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Carney, they're telling me you're going to change your plea to guilty to 3 counts, 2 amended counts and 1 additional count from the indictment before we get to your change of plea. I am required to go over some things with you, okay?
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
How far did you go in school?
I went into high school.
So you can read and write?
Yes.
Did you graduate?
Yes.
Okay.
I got my high school diploma.
Okay. Are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
Has anyone promised you how the court would sentence you in this matter?
No.
Has anyone threatened you in any way to get you to plead guilty
No.
against your will?
No.
Are you satisfied with the representation you've received from Mr. Staten?
Yes.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Do you take medication that interferes with your ability to understand what's going on today?
No.
I have in front of me a document. It's called a change of plea. On the second page, on the line marked defendant, there is a signature. Did you sign this?
Yes.
Did you read this, go over it with your attorney before you signed it?
Yes.
And you feel comfortable that you understand what it says?
Yes.
All right. This document says running a plea of guilty to 1 count of aggravated trafficking in drugs as a felony of the 3rd degree. That carries a maximum penalty of 36 months in prison and a maximum fine of $10,000. $5,000 of that is a mandatory fine. The second count is one of aggravated possession of drugs, a felony of the 3rd degree. That also carries a maximum penalty of 36 months in prison and a maximum fine of $10,000. And again, $5,000 of that is also a mandatory fine. And the third count is one of illegal conveyance of drugs into the grounds of a specified government facility, a felony of the 3rd degree. That carries a maximum penalty of 36 months in prison and a maximum fine of $10,000. None of these carry mandatory prison sentences. Do you understand the maximum penalties and maximum and mandatory penalties?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, you're also subject to a discretionary period of post-release control, which means that if you are sent to prison, when you are released, the adult parole authority may decide to supervise you for up to 2 years.
Yes.
If you violate that supervision, the adult parole authority can return you to prison for up to 1/2 of this court's original sentence. If your violation is that you commit another felony, you can be returned to prison for 1 year or the period that you have left on PRC, whichever is longer, and that time would run consecutive to any additional prison time that you get sentenced to. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you are presumed innocent of these charges. You cannot be sentenced or punished unless you plead guilty or you're found guilty following a trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholson.
If this case would have proceeded to trial, the state would have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that on or about July 28th, 2024, at Warren Correctional Institution in Turtle Creek Township, Warren County, Ohio, the defendant transported in a concealed a flaming hot Cheetos bag containing over a bulk amount of methamphetamine. He entered the institution and concealed that in a trash can for retrieval. She did that in conjunction with her father and an associate of her father.
Mr. Staten, anything on those facts?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Carney, did you hear the statement that was read?
Yes.
Do you admit and acknowledge that what she said is true?
Yes.
And again, you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering a plea of guilty,
Yes.
the rights we went over.
Yes.
What is your plea?
Guilty.
All right, the court's going to make a finding then that you've made a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary waiver of your constitutional rights, and the court will accept your plea of guilty, and based upon the statement of facts in your plea, the court will make a finding of guilty. Now, Ms. Carney, I'm going to order a pre-sentence investigation. We'll come back in a few weeks, and we'll do sentencing at that time. It'll probably be 6 to 8 weeks before we do sentencing, but you need to go back down to court services this morning?
Yeah. No, not yet.
Okay, you need to test this morning?
Yeah, she told me to come right after court so I could be able to sign the papers and everything.
All right, yeah, and that's, you need to set up, or you need to schedule your interview for the pre-sentence investigation.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Good.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you so much.